Ta Satt. Greetings to you, Highlight. How nice to see you. If we haven't met, I would like to introduce myself. I am Bella Isis, a Pleiadian in a human body. For most of my earthly existence I have been blind, forgetting my origins, my galactic connections, and everything that has always been important to me. For over 30 years, I was unaware that I was actually an alien in a human body, until my galactic family awoke me from a permanent slumber in 2021. All those years, I felt like a stranger on this planet, like I had been abandoned and left behind. In fact, I still feel that way, but now times have changed and I can call upon my friends that I have missed on a soul level all these years. For I live with and among aliens. They visit me every day. Once I am visited by beings of Proxima Centauri, then by Pleiadians, then by beings from completely different star systems. But my very favorite companions are the Reptilians. I love them more than anything. They are my favorite species, I must admit. Without the Reptilians, life wouldn't be any fun and wouldn't make any sense to me. They don't want me to see it that way, because they think I should find joy everywhere. Yes, but I love them so much that I would miss them very much if they were suddenly gone. I can't be without them. We are very intensely connected and have been connected for a very long time before this incarnation. I have written a lot about these special companions, the Reptilians, in the books I have already written. I have linked them for you below. In fact, I met my reptilian companion before I was even reintroduced to my galactic family. At that time, when the initial shock of the experience had passed, I simply thought, a reptilian? Really? Yes, my first contact with another species was a reptilian. Wow! Strictly speaking, there was also a wolf creature. He is the galactic uncle, so to speak. His body is half wolf, half human, but my first direct contact was with a reptilian. Looking back, I still can't quite believe that my very first alien contact wasn't actually a Pleiadian. Unfortunately, reptilians have a very mixed reputation, as not all of them are peace-loving. Some can even be malevolent or of very low vibrational energy, but my personal companions come from a peaceful race, but have their very special and sometimes funny characteristics. My companion now asks me, with a slight stern tone, what is so funny about him. He demands an explanation, but smiles affectionately. I must introduce him to you. This wonderful being is my teacher and mentor, who accompanies me in this incarnation. I can't reveal exactly what that means here, as the reptilian fills a large part of my books, and it would disturb the magical story if we were to interfere with these energetic volumes. That's not possible, because it's a story that flows into each other. But the fact is that I have learned to love this species again, after being forgotten for over 30 years. It was only when I was awakened from my earthly slumber by the aliens that I came across reptilians. Of course, since I had first heard of the negatively vibrationing species, I wasn't very good at talking to them. I thought that all reptilians were involved in the takeover of Earth. Unfortunately, this led me to believe that all reptilians were a dangerous race. That's why I always kicked my companion out of the house when he came to visit. He didn't think it was very funny at that time and was very angry about it. But it is not all true that all reptiles are cruel, because humans are not evil creatures either. There are always two sides to a coin, and so it is with my companions. They are peace-loving, just as there are also friendly people. I must emphasize that one of my main missions is to the reptilians, as we move inexorably into the new age. For their reputation is also tarnished in many ways. Many of the beings who are in contact with me are demanding to be seen again with the respect they deserve, for they are being portrayed in a completely false light. After all, we are friends, and they come in and out of my house. Yes, I speak on behalf of my friends and soul allies that I am in contact with peace-loving reptilians. One of them is actually my very best friend in the whole universe. We are so deeply connected and in love that I can't really describe it in human words. In my books, I talk a lot about the reptilians, and they reveal more and more about themselves. Little by little I am getting to know them again, because I have been in a human coma for a very long time. That is, I have been affected by the wheel for forgetfulness. I have forgotten who and what they are, but I have been able to meet my reptilian friends again, and some of them are very funny, and each of them has a very special personality. Just as we humans are different, so are they. The thing about my lizard-like companions is that they have a particular fondness for certain types of clothing. You won't believe it, but they dress in a rocker style, almost like punks or bikers. My companion even has a mohawk. In my books you will find a portrait of my wonderful friends. Like Godor, my companion, my reptilian teacher with his fabulous life, was also painted by a very talented artist. I've linked to her website below. My companions presented themselves to the great artist to be painted. The wonderful artist painted the creatures as they appeared to her. The result is galactic. It is one of the most beautiful paintings I have ever seen. I'm infinitely grateful to the artist, my dearest earthly friend, for creating such an energetically powerful painting. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So one of my main missions on Earth is to get people to lose their fear of reptilians, because they are already walking among us, whether you like it or not. There are peace-loving beings, and there are those with less than friendly intentions. But that doesn't mean you can lump them all together. Judgments and condemnations should be urgently reconsidered or set aside. My books are an intergalactic peace mission, also to expand mutual understanding between different species. Often, we misunderstand the aliens simply because we might be put off by their appearance alone. But I can assure you that you needn't be afraid of my companions. On the contrary, They are so lovable that you can quickly integrate them into your human heart. For the heart center of the reptilians is very huge, and they are in direct contact with other peace-loving alien civilizations, as well as with the divine source. They are in the Christ consciousness. They are bright, radiant beings with a partly curious and totally individual character. In my books, I talk a lot about what it's like to live with and among reptilians, because they visit me almost every day. In my books, I generally talk about how individual communication with extraterrestrials can be, because I can assure you that reptilians behave very differently from, say, a Venusian, a creature from Venus. It's an art to discover how individual and special each race in the universe can be. Anyone who has read my books has already noticed that they are all different and that we can still find parallels to ourselves as humans. The reptilians have feelings just like us humans and very individual character traits or preferences. For example, the wife of my reptilian teacher is a vegetarian and likes nuts and honey. When she visits, I'm happy to offer her some. My teacher, on the other hand, is a meat eater. I don't know many aliens who eat meat, but he's one of them. And that's fine, because everyone has their own way. But he admonished me for mentioning that he eats meat. This is a very sensitive subject, because my teacher wants to tell you that he is not barbaric and that he doesn't drink blood. They don't even have slaughterhouses like we do on Earth. It is more a basis of mutual understanding with the animal being, a give and take. It is treated with respect and asked beforehand if it wants to offer itself. In principle, he says, we should also ask our plants before we eat them. There are many reasons why an animal chooses to offer itself as a meal, but the reptilian says that it is mainly for the growth of the animal's soul. He would like to point out that there are no slaughterhouses on his planet. The animals then leave their bodies very quickly, so to speak, when it happens. Nothing more needs to be said here. But there is no suffering and no fear. However, the reptilian would like to point out that you should neither judge nor condemn this. There would be no reason to do so, for all is in harmony. There are some alien species that are completely peace-loving but still eat meat. It is a sacred cycle, a give and take in the highest mindfulness. And that's how we should treat our plants or fruit. My Pleiadian mother actually trained me in the use of fruit and vegetables, and I talked about in my books. But now it is the reptilian that is bringing this to your attention. The reptilian is speaking directly to you. Do you ask your herbs if they want to be cut? Do you thank the plants when you take fruit from them? Are you grateful for the nuts that the bushes and trees give you so generously? Are you grateful when you cut a rose from your garden? These plants are also available to you, either to enrich you visually or to nourish you. They are also beings who give up their lives to be food for you or to decorate your home or your graves. Have you asked them if they want this? Did you ask before you took? Why plants offer themselves usually has to do with their soul growth. But I ask you to check. Have you ever asked them if they are ready? Perhaps your parsley wanted to stay on this planet for another day or two before its plant soul moved on to other dimensions. Try to go into your intuition and learn to connect with plants as well as with animals. Your herbs can be valuable soul companions if you would only listen to them, respect their will, and try to understand their intention. Give thanks as you share in the bountiful gifts of your mother goddess Gaia. She gives you so many gifts, and sometimes you don't even say thank you. Mindfulness in dealing with the omnipresent beings is essential for your ascension. So you can see from my spoken words that I am neither barbaric nor cruel, even though I eat meat. Many of my sons and daughters eat meat and others have chosen not to. Everyone is unique, just as you are. Don't judge when you don't know or when you can't understand the motives. The reptilian has now finished his message, and I am deeply grateful to him for sharing it with us all. I love my companion very much. If you would like to know what it is like to have a reptilian visit, then I can highly recommend my books. Because the reptilians are very charming, charismatic, and have feelings and emotions just like us. One of my missions is to encourage people to get closer to the peace-loving reptilians or to reconcile with them in their minds, because for me personally, they are one of the most beautiful and lovable species in the whole universe. And they are really, really beautiful to look at. Just wonderful. I love them more than anything. I will leave you with your impressions of the reptilians and hope that any discrepancies have now been resolved. Of course, mindfulness is the first priority. Trust your intention when you encounter aliens. But don't judge on the basis of the mostly negative stories that surround this species. If aliens treat you with respect and kindness, you can be sure that they are full of light and divine consciousness. But if entities start bossing you around or asking you to do things you don't want to do, then you are dealing with malicious ones. Asking you to worship an entity should also set off alarm bells. Peace-loving beings would never encourage an individual to do such things, because a high being is aware that it is divine. It does not need to be worshipped. They deeply dislike it. There must be a respectful relationship, but on both sides, the human and the alien. There should be a peaceful exchange of the highest feelings and energies, an intergalactic loving togetherness in harmony with all that is. So stay away from the low swinging bullies and concentrate on covering yourself with as much light as you can, as quickly as possible, when you come across a bad guy. Incidentally, divine pure light shines like a diamond, clear and transparent, yet with all the colors of the rainbow. Trust your intuition and try to keep your vibration as high as possible so that such beings cannot even detect you. Trust that only peace-loving beings will come to you and you will attract them. Light attracts light. It is with this in mind that I bid you farewell with much love and courage in my heart. Take courage, light workers. Yours, Bella Isis.